people who were adopted, people that grew up in group homes, what they were able to contribute to society. It basically says the argument that unless your life is rosy, unless you have a rosy start, then you don't have a right to life, and your life is not worth living.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are good. Guys, today we're going to be reacting to Candace Owens debate students abortion argument. Guys, let's go right down to this.
What's your take on the young lady who got pregnant and the man who got her pregnant tells her to abort the baby because he doesn't care for the kid and doesn't not want to be in that kid's life? She has no family, no help, and she wants to focus on school and her career. Is it best for her to get rid of the kid, focus on herself, and having a family later down the road? Because if she has that kid, that child's going to be a burden upon her.
Yeah,
I could repeat it. So I think you're
giving us a scenario of somebody who's pregnant with the kid.
Was
the
this
father
the Ohio
doesn't want
situation of the young lady that went to Indiana to get the abortion, or are you just talking more generally?
Generally.
You're talking generally. Okay.
And you're saying that if the kid was born, they would be ill-advantaged. Is that what you're asking? That your end question is, what should they do?
What should she do? She should just
like
get rid
abortion
of the baby?
ethics, basically. Is
Or
the question.
have family.
You should absolutely choose life. It's such a scary thing to me to think. And actually, who was it that said, I think it was Ronald Reagan, everybody who argues for abortion has already been born, right? Which the many examples, and this is what is so problematic about the argument of people that are pro-choice, is that it ignores all of the people that grew up in broken homes and made something of themselves, people who were adopted, people that grew up in group homes, what they were able to contribute to society. It basically says the argument that unless your life is rosy, unless you have a rosy start, then you don't have a right to life, and your life is not worth living, and that could not be more wrong and more backwards. It's so wrong. I especially, you guys obviously know a lot about my upbringing. Like, my story is one that I hope serves as an example when people read it of what can happen when you triumph this idea of victimhood, when you realize that you're not a victim and that you are always in the driver's seat of your own life and you can be a victor. Everybody, by the way, has terrible things that happen in their lives. Don't believe that because you see somebody and they grew up and they're super wealthy that they don't have issues, or people that actually, I personally find that the wealthiest kids are the most effed up, personally, with life, right? And for people to not even have the opportunity to try because somebody has sentenced them to death and said your life is not worth living because you don't have a father that loves you or a mother that wants you, it deeply saddens me. It's so backwards. It is so antithetical to everything that we believe as conservatives. If you meet a conservative that says, well, I'm a little flimsy on the life stuff, they don't know what it means to be a conservative. Fundamentally, at our core, is that we believe in life, right? We believe in life and the right to life. And so, absolutely, in every scenario, I would choose life over and over again. And let me tell you, just as someone who has had a child, your life begins. If you think in a moment while you're pregnant that it may be a burden, and you may be fearful, when you have that child, you will realize that life begins when you become a mother or a father. It is the most beautiful, wonderful chapter of anybody's life, no matter how difficult it may be.
I do not believe there's a thing as an unwanted child in America. There's 1 million abortions in America every single year, about 3,000 a day. And there's twice as many people than that on the adoption waiting list. So if every single person who had an abortion had that baby and put them up for adoption, they could all be put up and adopted twice over in America. There's no such thing as an unwanted child in America. Thank you.
But guys, when we look at this, there's something Candace said that I actually picked from. Everybody that's arguing about abortion right now, they're alive, right? Yeah, we're breathing. Like, people that are coming up to argue this whole abortion matter, they're alive. When it comes down to the scenario he brought, I feel like life matters a lot. It's more like when you want to abort a child, you're literally saying the child's life isn't worth the time, isn't worth the energy, the strength, the stress, isn't worth anything. And I feel you can't speak for that child. I mean, you have to allow the child to be alive, because when you obviously give birth to a child that you feel is unwanted, you tend to see, like, you tend to watch that child grow. I mean, there's this joy of a mother. I have seen like so many people who didn't want to, who got pregnant out of wedlock. They didn't want to give birth to this baby. They wanted to just abort. But eventually, after giving birth, you could see that right now they can't do without that child, and it's more like that child is like a blessing towards them. So when I look at this whole abortion thing, it's totally wrong. But a lot of people want to normalize it and say, yeah, like, yeah, you don't need this child right now. You should just, it's murder. Like, you shouldn't go on with it. I mean, if these children are being given birth to and they put them up for adoption, you definitely see people that will adopt these children. That's the funny thing. I mean, if you go to orphanage, like, there's so many orphanage homes that every day people working to adopt children. People want children. There are so many people that can't give birth to like children right now, and like they just want to adopt other people's children, and then you are going to kill your own baby. It's heartbreaking. But guys, the more you think about this, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to my channel. I love you guys.